down though by Kobe Maynor on the halfway, but recovered by Newcastle. Alexander flicks it out towards the left-hand side and in towards the possession of Longstaff, in towards the edge of the penalty area. Cross goes in towards the back stick, where it's flicked on by Alexander Isak, hooked away by Diallo at the back post, flicked back on by Gunnar Guimaraes. Trippier, right-hand side, goes out towards Jacob Murphy by the right-hand corner flag. Cross goes in, right foot, a low drill there for looking to find Isak at the near post, but Onana comes out for it and gathers in the Manchester United goal. The referee this evening, Rob Jones. And one is the penultimate night of Premier League action in the 2023-2024 season, and we will have both of the decisive title-winning games on Sunday afternoon live with you on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Arsenal will make the trip to Everton as Newcastle have possession inside the penalty. Isak has an effort curled on his right boot, which goes around about a yard or two wide of goal, picking up possession loosely in the midfield, driving in from the right-hand flank before having an effort on his right boot, which will drag wide of goal. One back by Trippier, losing out was Garnacho. Isak then decided to have an effort, wrapped around his left foot, which went wide of the target. Minute and a half gone. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0, in front of a sold-out allocation of Newcastle United supporters this evening. The best part of 3,500 here tonight to see their Magpie side in action. Not too far a trip on a midweek evening, just a few hours by car, which as a Newcastle United fan isn't a long trip whatsoever in that isolated north-east corridor in the Premier League in the modern era without Sunderland or Middlesbrough in sight. Ball lofted up by Kieran Trippier to beyond the halfway on the right hand side. He's going to go up for a Manchester United throw. The left hand side as they attack, 5 yards from the edge of the Newcastle United half. Looking forward, one back by Mainu, left hand side, 5 yards inside the Newcastle United half. Got Jacob Murphy for company, plays it short in towards the possession of Amrabat. Now out to Aaron Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side, stretching towards the halfway. United have possession with Amad Diallo, being put under pressure, falls back into the path of Casemiro, who again occupies that central defensive slot. Played it forward towards Amrabat, lost out in the midfield, but United do manage to get it away. Only as far as Dan Burn, out towards Kieran Trippier, cleared away, but one back by United. But again, one back, this by Kraft. Now Murphy back to goal. 2 United players in front of him, brought down by Diogo Dallo. It's going to be a free kick to Newcastle, right hand side in the middle of their own half. Well, looking at the win probabilities this evening, Manchester United 43% chance as a home side, the draw 28%, whilst Newcastle United win this evening has been rated at a 29% chance. So it is the Magpies who have possession in the midfield. Turning is Murphy, again goes down to ground on the challenge of Diogo Dallo. That's a couple of cheap free kicks that he's given away in the first couple of minutes, and Rob Jones just having a quiet word with him, not wanting to brandish anything card perspective out this early in the game, doesn't want to set an unwanted precedent. Free kick taken quickly by Longstaff, goes out towards the left hand side and towards Lewis Hall. Guimaraes in the midfield, plays it in towards the possession of Burn. Guimaraes, forward it goes for the middle on his right boot, looking to find Isak. One back by Casemiro, now comes out more into that holding midfield role. Looking to play out to the right hand side, Lewis is out, and Murphy plays out towards Isak, edge of the penalty area, in towards Gordon, inside the area, steps himself out towards the left hand side, half cleared by United, who will eventually get it away with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. McTominay in towards the possession of Amrabat, and it's cleared away by United. Out of play though for Newcastle throw-in. 4 minutes gone, United 0, Newcastle 0. Casemiro gave it away on the halfway and then unleashed Murphy to play the pass out towards Isak. Played it infield towards Gordon, who took a touch to take it out towards the left hand side inside the box, only half clear before then being scooped away by United. Newcastle had possession with their goalkeeper Martin Dubravka, who's making his 24th Premier League appearance this evening. 4 clean sheets to his name so far this term. Ball worked out into the midfield and out in towards the left hand side, where Anthony Gordon finds himself in possession. Lewis Hall making the overlapping run forward, but he moves infield and plays it back to Bruno Guimaraes, 10 yards inside the Manchester United half. Gordon once again played back into the path of Hall, and now Guimaraes on the halfway, moving out to Scott McTominay, but recovered by Newcastle. Had possession with Emma Kraft on the halfway, loaded out to the right hand side. Trippier looking to scoop it over the top into the path of Jacob Ramsey. Last touch comes off a United player, and it's a Newcastle throw. 5 minutes gone here at Old Trafford in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0, and it's Kieran Trippier with the Newcastle throwing on the right hand side, 30 yards out from goal. Infield towards Isak in the centre, has been pushed back a few yards by Johnny Evans towards the halfway and in towards the path of Emil Kraft for the Magpies. Byrne lays it out in towards the possession of Lewis Hall. Gordon making the run out to the left hand flank, but it's going to go towards Kraft on the halfway, short in towards the possession of Longstaff, and now Trippier on the half. Back towards Kraft once more, through the middle towards Jacob Murphy, turns back to goal, around about 35 yards out, driving through the middle towards the edge of the box, going to slip through Isak, who's making a darting run in towards the penalty area, given away cheaply though once again by United. Guimaraes in towards the path of Longstaff, out towards Gordon, left hand side towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Aaron Wan-Bissaka for company, all back by Newcastle United and Lewis Hall. Gordon loses that to Scott McTominay, crunching challenge in from behind by Bruno Guimaraes, but fair in the eyes of the referee. Newcastle had possession once more on this left hand flank. Could go back towards the halfway and back towards the possession of Dan Burke, goes out towards Emil Kraft. This is Trippier on the right side, forward it goes towards the edge of the penalty area. It's going to be snuffed out by Kobe Mainoo, who will concede the game's first corner. Newcastle United with that opening set piece on the right hand side as they attack. 6.5 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. The score here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Not surprised the likes of Byrne, the likes of Longstaff have made the trip into the penalty area. Elliot Anderson also keeping himself interested. It's going to be Kieran Trippier to take. It's corner on the right hand side. He's going to swing it in on his right boot. 10 assists to his name this season, and he has been out for the last couple of months. Trippier's corner floated in right footed towards the back post, where it's flicked on. It came loose inside the penalty area. Anderson couldn't get there. It's going to be recovered second time by Gordon. It's going to be cleared by Casemiro and hooked away by Wan-Bissaka. Being put under pressure by Bruno Guimaraes to the edge of his penalty area. Casemiro plays it out towards Fernandes, left hand side, 5 yards on the edge of his own penalty area. Plays it forward in towards the path of Diallo. Diallo back towards Johnny Evans now for Manchester United, who will in turn put it in towards the feet of his goalkeeper Andre Onana, who came in for the Golden Glove winning David De Gea this season. Hasn't quite kept the 15 clean sheets that De Gea made last season, but 8 all told this term as United move their way forward, driving down the right hand side of McTominay towards the edge of the penalty area, being put under pressure by Dan Byrne, who concedes a free kick on that right hand flank around about 25 yards out from goal. McTominay being brought down to the ground for Manchester United, who turned on the halfway, swiveled past Dan Byrne, and it was all about Byrne's recovery run. Then he just tugs him on the back of his shirt towards the 9 of the number 39 that he's wearing this evening, and it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United on the right hand side towards the swung back in by Amrabat, and it's an overhead kick by Casemiro of all people from around about 10 yards out. It was sweetly struck on the lace of his right boot, and it was just over the bar. It wasn't the worst overhead kick attempt you've seen. Struck sweetly through the right boot, and it goes round about a couple of yards, maybe less than that, over Martin Dubravka's crossbar. Wasn't a bad attempt at all by Casemiro, for whom the critics have come from a defensive sense in recent times. Has got a Premier League goal to his name this season, registered on the Premier League website as a Brazilian midfielder, but he's very much a defender right now, and he's got some defending to do because the ball was slipped through in towards the path of Anthony Gordon on the edge of the D, but it was a very heavy ball into his path by Anderson in the end, and it's going to be held quite comfortably by Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. 10 minutes have passed here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0. Alejandro Garnacho was going to get possession on the edge of the area, hooked clear by Trippier. Newcastle will concede a throw. United with one left hand side adjacent towards the edge of the Newcastle United penalty area. Diallo takes it back into the path of Mainoo. Towards the halfway line it goes, and into the path of Casemiro, who'll play it along the line out to the right hand side towards Wan-Bissaka, back into the path of Casemiro, launched forward towards Fernandes, headed away by Dubravka, who came charging out with the Portuguese midfielder up against it. Murphy towards the halfway, looking to find Isak, loses out, and now Maino drives forward down the middle towards the edge of the penalty area. He's got Guimaraes up against him, out towards Garnacho, left hand side, cross goes in, right footed, headed away by the first man, recovered by Diallo, back towards the halfway and towards Johnny Evans, who will in turn lay it off towards Onana between the sticks. Looking for options on his right boot. He's got Casemiro short, but he wants to go direct. He plays it through the middle towards Fernandes. It wasn't the most convincing ball with Bruno Guimaraes looking to intervene, and Onana was the best part of 35 yards out from his own goal. But United had possession with Diallo left hand side, 5 yards inside the Newcastle half. Kobe Mainoo looking to play it out towards Garnacho on the left hand side. Initially won back by Newcastle, then regathered by United. Stepping out was Trippier to play it forward into the path of Bruno Guimaraes, who goes down and wins Newcastle a free kick, which he looked to take quickly, then gives the ball away straight away, but has been saved by the whistle because the free kick was taken too quickly for the liking of Rob Jones, and so he's going to get a reprieve and a second chance, much to the frustration of Erik Ten Hag in the Manchester United dugout, who knows how big a night it is for his side this evening. He said that he can't hide behind the injuries that they've had in recent times, and now they may have to hide away from a Newcastle counter-attack, because this is Longstaff looking to thread through Gordon towards the edge of the area, stepping out as Casemiro to get it away and to start another United attack. McTominay out to the far right-hand side to Amad Diallo, 10 yards inside Newcastle United territory, moves infield and plays it short towards Fernandes. This is Diallo once again, goes out towards Fernandes, chips it in through the lace of his right foot towards the back post into Diallo, who gets there, looks to play it back into the box when nobody was there apart from McTominay, but Newcastle managed to clear their lines anyway in doing so. Guimaraes had free up against him, and the ball ain't fully cleared here by Newcastle United. It's flicked on and won back by Diallo, ran about 25 yards out from goal essentially, back towards Evans, out to Amrabat. Wan-Bissaka makes the overlapping one on the right hand side, edge of the box, cross goes in, right footed, flicked on by Scott McTominay from around about 10 yards out. Glance header was being put under pressure, and it's a comfortable take for Martin Dubravka in the Newcastle United goal. It was Wan-Bissaka with the floated ball in towards the path of Scott McTominay, and it was Emil Kraft who was keeping close order and trying to obscure his way towards that header as much as he possibly can, and he did enough because the ball comfortably fell into the arms of the Newcastle United goalkeeper. 13 and a half minutes played here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0, and Newcastle have possession here with Alexander Isak, who's driving down the left hand side, but too enthusiastically so, because the flag goes up for offside up against him. Reminder that we have one other Premier League game live for you this evening on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Half an hour gone, and it is Brighton Hove Albion 0, Chelsea 0. A couple of games in the Scottish Premiership in the Championship group to keep you up to date on this evening. Celtic can win the title this evening with the result against Kilmarnock. Well, they're going to win that league title 3-0. They lead at Rugby Park, and we haven't even reached the halfway point yet. And half an hour gone at St Mirren Park, where it is St Mirren 1, Hearts 1. You can keep up to date with both of those games by downloading the Flash Score app, which is available on the Apple App Store or via Google Play, wherever you get your apps from. This is Kobe Mainoo, right hand side, 10 yards inside Newcastle United half, goes out towards Wan-Bissaka. Mainoo in towards the path of Casemiro, out now towards Wan-Bissaka, towards Diallo, edge of the area, steps inside, has an effort, drilled on his left foot, parried away by Dubravka, nearly was won back by Wan-Bissaka, eventually cleared away by Newcastle United. Mainoo regathers it once again. Fernandes, edge of the box, chips it up towards Mainoo's path on the right hand side, puts it back in towards the mixer. Diallo and McTominay were lurking. It's eventually cleared away by Newcastle United, and out for a corner for Manchester United out on the left hand side. It was Diallo with the effort, parried away by Dubravka, nearly fell for Wan-Bissaka second time. There was a couple of Newcastle United players there first. Lewis Hall stopping him in his way. Quarter of an hour gone. United corner on the right hand side, swung in by Fernandes, right footed towards the penalty spot. It'll lose McTominay, but Garnacho's free inside the penalty area. Has an effort on his right foot, looking to find the near post, but it's dragged around about 2-3 yards wide of it. Well, it was Fernandes' corner in towards the penalty spot. Everyone made the run around about 2-3 yards forward but it fell loosely towards Garnacho. The only player making the run back was Anthony Gordon in towards his possession. Had an effort first time, kind of panicked over the effort, and it went around about 2-3 yards wide of goal. Quarter of an hour gone here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. This is the second meeting actually between these two sides at Old Trafford this season. The pair met in a League Cup tie back in October. More on that in a second, as Diallo has possession on the left hand side towards the edge of the penalty area for Manchester United. This is Alejandro Garnacho back into the path of Bruno Fernandes, switching it out, looking to find Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side, around about 25 yards out. His pass on his right boot was misplaced, and it goes out of play for a throw in the Newcastle United down their left, adjacent towards the edge of their penalty area. 16 and a half gone. Manchester United 0, Newcastle 0. I mentioned these two played in a League Cup tie back in October, and it was Newcastle that ran out 3-0 winners on that occasion. Miguel Amon, who came on as a substitute in the 3rd minute for Matt Targett, who went off injured early on in the encounter, scored the opener in the 25th minute. Lewis Hall grabbed the second. He was playing on the left hand side of midfield that night, 10 minutes from half time, before Joe Willock added the third on the hour mark to seal a 3-0 success in the League Cup. Rob Jones, our referee tonight, actually took charge of that fixture in the Carabao Cup back in October. Back it goes in towards the possession of Martin Dubravka between the sticks for Newcastle United. In terms of stats in this game, Manchester United 4 attempts compared to the 2 of Newcastle, and United with 2 shots on target. Newcastle yet to register an attempt on target so far this evening. 17 and a half minutes played here at Old Trafford in the Premier League. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. It's Casemiro forward through the middle towards Fernandes, 10 yards on the edge of the Newcastle half. Ball spray forward, flicked on towards Mainu inside the penalty area, who's got Lewis Hall up against him, back towards Garnacho, edge of the D, being run ragged by Guimaraes, who comes away with the ball. Only half clear by Newcastle. Now this is Diallo inside the penalty area, who looks to play the ball in. It comes off of the left shin of Kieran Trippier, goes out for a corner, but Bruno Fernandes finds himself down on the floor for Manchester United. Only just back into the side after missing the last couple of games for United with a knock, and just gets caught on the leg by the stud of Bruno Guimaraes. The two Brunos combining and colliding, but he's well enough to go out to the left hand side to take this Manchester United corner. Second of the match, 18 and a half minutes gone. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. Score here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Casemiro having a quick drink of water before corner kick finds its way in, being watched like a hawk by Dan Burn. Manchester United second corner, Newcastle with just the one so far in this first half. It's going to be Fernandes' corner to be swung in on his right boot from the left hand side. Fizzed in towards the back stick, where it's volleyed on by Diallo. He's going to come back into his path, put it back in second time, cleared away by Dan Burn, and it's going to come in towards the path of Anthony Gordon. Regathered though by Amrabat. Now driving down the right hand side is Diallo, who slips on the surface, and the ball will go out of play for Newcastle United throw. Meanwhile at the Amex, Chelsea scored the opener against Brighton, and perhaps not a surprise, who's found his way onto the score sheet. Cole Palmer jumping from across and planting a brilliant header into the top right hand corner to give Chelsea the lead 10 minutes from the break at the Amex. Brighton 0, Chelsea 1. That strengthened their grip on 6th position in the Premier League, which will be enough for European football. Which competition is yet to be known. It could well be the Europa League, it could well be the Europa Conference League if Manchester United beat City in the cup final and failed to qualify for Europe via other means. 20 minutes gone though here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0. Manchester United had possession with Diallo, but Alexander Isak was brought to the ground a couple of seconds prior by Johnny Evans. It's a Newcastle free kick, which is taken quickly out towards Gordon, left side, 10 yards inside the United half, but infield in towards the path of Lewis Hall, who drives towards the penalty area, has an effort on goal, low drill for the laces of his left boot, but straight down to Andre Onana's near post, who can comfortably catch and gather between the sticks. Who has had a first season which has improved in the second half. Really did struggle at the start, particularly during the ill-fated Champions League campaign where they were eliminated in the group stages. Just beginning to find his feet in the Premier League. Manchester United finding their feet in this game. And Alejandro Garnacho, left-hand side in the middle of the Newcastle half. Now driving towards the edge of the penalty, gets a better of Kieran Trippier, but Trippier stands firm and ball goes back into the path of Fernandes. Amrabat in the middle, around about 30 yards out. This is Evans to Fernandes into the path of Maynard. Fernandes fires it out to the path of Garnacho, but the ball's going to trickle out of play. The ball into his path, way too heavy, almost rebounded like a pinball into his path, and out of play he'll go for a Newcastle United goal kick as Messrs Fernandes and Guimaraes have a conversation about their first half battles, and it's fair to say that Mr Fernandes is not happy with his Newcastle United counterpart, and the referee Rob Jones gets in the middle of it, and Bruno Guimaraes is not best pleased about Bruno Fernandes taking exception to him. Dubravka with the goal kick, launched forward to beyond the halfway. Alexander Isak was his intended target, but it's flicked on by Diallo, recovered by Guimaraes a second time. Goes down to the ground, but it's going to be a throw into Manchester United on the halfway, out on the far side. United attacking towards the Stretford end in this opening period. Ball played back into the path of Andre Onana. Moves it forward on his right foot in towards the penalty halfway, who tried to keep it in play. It was a heavy ball forward into his path, nearly latched onto the clearance. And it's going to run out for a Newcastle throw in the middle half on the right hand side, and it'll directly go back into the path of Martin Dubravka. Short into the path of Dan Burn, who is out to the halfway point of the Newcastle half. Lewis Hall sprays it out to Emil Kraft, with Trippier out to his far right hand side. The ball around about 15 yards from the edge of Manchester United territory. Bruno Guimaraes short into the path of Longstaff. This is Burn, short to Hall on the left hand side in the middle of the Newcastle United half. Goes out into the path of Anthony Gordon, who makes the run back into his own half up against Wan-Bissaka. Plays it short towards the halfway. Elliot Anderson will play it back towards Dan Burn. Now out towards Emil Kraft. Newcastle patiently building the play forward here. This is Kieran Trippier, who'll again ping it back towards Dan Burn. Now United just begin to press somewhat, and now Hall drives towards the halfway, out to the left hand side and in towards the path of Elliot Anderson. This is Bruno Guimaraes on the halfway in the middle, out towards the path of Dan Burn to Trippier, right side, forward it goes, looking to find Jacob Murphy, who was making the run down the channel. It was snuffed out in the end by Diogo Dallo for a Newcastle United throw-in. Trippier takes on the right hand side, 10 yards inside the United half, but plays it back inside his own territory, much to the frustration of his teammates. But Trippier demonstrating there was another option for him. But now here's Isak, played out towards the left hand side. Anderson, edge of the box, cross goes in towards the area, cleared away by Amrabat, comes out again into his path, edge of the inside the penalty, up against Casemiro on the byline, goes back towards Gordon, edge of the box, again looking to get the cross in, gets the better of Casemiro. Guimaraes, edge of the D, has an effort on his right boot, which is blocked by McTominay. Comes back out into the possession of Trippier. Right hand side, edge of the penalty, scoops across in, right boot in, cleared away by Casemiro. Guimaraes was looking to get there second time, but it's cleared away by McTominay. Out to Fernandes, left hand side, driving beyond the halfway, out towards Garnacho on the left hand side. Spaces have opened up here for Manchester United. Fernandes chipped over the top to Garnacho inside the penalty area. What a woman, Dubravka, who keeps himself big towards the near post as Garnacho was shooting at an acute angle on the left hand side from around about 10 yards out, side footed on his right boot. Dubravka makes himself big, and the ball will go out of play for a Manchester United corner on the left hand side. Fernandes with the chip over the top into the path of Garnacho, who took a touch on his left foot before setting himself on his right. And the side foot it and glance it in towards the bottom right hand corner, but Dubravka makes himself big and the ball go out for a United corner. It's going to be Fernandes to take on the left hand side. He's going to swing it in on his right foot, in towards the near post, and swung away into the mixer. McTominay nearly fell to. Diallo has a second effort at goal on his left boot on the volley, which is going to blaze its way over the bar. 27 minutes gone here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's a unhappy hunting ground for Newcastle United. Manchester United only defeat in their past 28 Premier League home matches against the Magpies was a 1-0 scoreline back in December 2013. That was when David Moyes was in charge, but Newcastle have won each of the last 3 meetings between the pair in all competitions, including that aforementioned League Cup tie earlier on in this campaign at Old Trafford, as we have a look at pictures on our monitor of Rasmus Hojlund sat square on the Manchester United bench. He's been hooked for the evening as Gordon plays the ball out to Anderson, towards Gordon, left side, edge of the penalty. He's got the better of Wan-Bissaka. Gordon inside the box, looks to cross it in. Isak was waiting in the penalty spot, but the last touch comes off of Wan-Bissaka for Manchester United, and it's going to go out for a Newcastle corner on the left hand side of their attack. He detaches himself from Casemiro, just Gordon on the halfway, plays down to Alisson, to Elliot Anderson, first time pass in towards Gordon inside the penalty area. Wan-Bissaka had tracked his man, the cross went in left footed, but it came off of Wan-Bissaka and out for Newcastle United corner. 28 gone, goalless here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's going to be taken by Kieran Trippier, this corner on his right boot from the left hand side. Bodies towards the back post. Trippier's corner for Newcastle, swung in towards that back stick, flicked on by Dan Burn, comes back out towards the penalty spot loosely, regathered by Isak, but cleared away by United, and Isak getting himself high up in the air, high enough for the referee on Jones to give a free kick to Manchester United. Before it goes into the path of Kobbie Mainoo, who's got Garnacho just a little bit further forward. Mainoo towards Amrabat in the middle, man about 35 yards out from goal, plays it short to Bruno Fernandes, who has a bit of a give and go. Wan-Bissaka goes out into the path of Diallo on the right hand side, around about 25 yards out from goal, but Wan-Bissaka's side-footed pass on his right boot was just too heavy, and it will trickle out for Newcastle United throws. He approached the half-hour mark. Erik Ten Hag in his great coat, shirt and tie this evening. He's bought the coat for all eventualities after the pictures of him getting drenched in his blazer, more of a summary outfit by the Manchester United manager on Sunday afternoon. It was a golden sun-laden afternoon right till the very end, where the heavens really did open, and once they did open they didn't really relent. And probably would have seen the pictures on social media following the game on Sunday of Old Trafford quite literally flooded. It was kind of lucky that the game started at the time it did at 4:30, because if it started later there would have been serious doubt about whether the game would have been completed or not. Well, half an hour has been completed here to no goals at Old Trafford. It's Manchester United 0, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League at Old Trafford. Remember, we'll have both the big games on the last day of the season and the title race live with us. This is Wan-Bissaka driving through the middle into the path of McTominay, inside the area. McTominay, who's got Dan Burn close by, he's forced him out wide to the right hand side, back to Wan-Bissaka, and Diallo, Casemiro, Amrabat, right hand side, about 35 yards out of goal, finds Amad Diallo, edge of the penalty area, right hand flank, moves infield. There's 3 Newcastle players over against him, backheel by Fernandes into the path of Kobbie Mainoo, who puts it home in towards the bottom left hand corner from around about 15 yards out on his right foot, and it is advantage Manchester United here at Old Trafford, and it is Kobbie Mainoo with the goal for the Red Devils. It's his 3rd Premier League goal of the season, and you have to say, on the basis of play so far in this first half, it's a Manchester United goal that's been coming. Well, Newcastle just left so many gaps at the back. It was Amrabat that played out in towards the path of Amad Diallo, who drove down that right hand side, had 3 up against him, played it short towards Fernandes, who then backheeled into the path of Mainoo. Trippier so far detached, keeps Kobbie Mainoo on side, who then from the best part of 15 yards out takes a touch on his left foot, side foots it home on his right in towards the bottom left hand corner. Newcastle almost froze for a second, wanting the offside flag to go up. It didn't go up, and there won't be a VAR check, and it's going to be Manchester United who find their way in front. Kobbie Mainoo, who's been one of the bright sparks in what has been an otherwise dismal season at times for Manchester United. His third goal in 24 appearances for the 19-year-old, who's having a real breakout season, and it's he who gives United the lead. 32 minutes on the clock. It is Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Ball launched forward by Newcastle, out towards the right-hand side. Gordon on the left-hand flank in the middle of the United half, being kept company by Wan-Bissaka. Launches out, crossfield ball towards Jacob Murphy, edge of the penalty area. Trippier's made the overlapping one, but inside the penalty area is Ansu, flashes an effort across goal on his right boot, and it will go wide of the target, out of play for a Manchester United goal kick. 33 minutes on the clock. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. We have two big games for you on Sunday afternoon, the end of the season. All 10 games live on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. We have the two games that affect the title race. There are two-star matches. We will be at the Etihad Stadium for Manchester City against West Ham, and at the Emirates for Arsenal against Everton. And you'll be able to hear the trophy lift live with us here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Well, as things stand, Manchester United and Newcastle both be locked on 57 points in the table. Newcastle staying 7 because their superior goals difference, plus 21 and minus 3 for Newcastle and Manchester United respectively as things stand. But in the race for European football, because they've won their advantage at the Amex so far, it's going to be advantage Chelsea in terms of getting that coveted 6th spot, although United will have their destiny in terms of European football in their own hands in the FA Cup final against Manchester City. If they win the Cup, they will find themselves in Europe next year. Ball floated forward in towards the path of Isak on the edge of the D, cleared away by Johnny Evans. Amrabat under pressure, loses out inside the penalty area. Going to ground is Anthony Gordon. Newcastle appeal for a penalty, which is not given by Rob Jones. It was Casemiro who made the challenge on him, and United come away with the ball. This is Kobbie Mainoo on the halfway in the centre, forward in towards the path of Diallo, and Newcastle had possession on the halfway. It was Una Guimaraes who went down to the ground on the half, and Rob Jones is just getting communication from Stockley Park about a possible penalty appeal. It was Amrabat with the initial challenge, and then it was Casemiro who came lunging in inside the penalty area. Gordon darting forward in towards the box, still going to get his shot away on his left foot before then being brought down by a pair of bodies. We are still having a look at this incident. Topic of conversation which has made the news headlines today, following the paper which has been launched by Wolverhampton Wanderers to scrap the model, to scrap the system ahead of the start of next season. But still the conversations continue. But it looks like Newcastle United aren't going to get their way, and it may be that Casemiro gets reprieve. The check is still ongoing. Eddie Howe having a chat with the fourth official. Jason Tindall, as always, at the centre of attention as far as situations like this are concerned, but it's not going to be given. Newcastle with just a free kick and not a penalty. Ball into the penalty area. An effort by Anderson, only half cleared by United, out towards Jacob Murphy inside the box, right hand side, got Diallo up against it. Cross goes in towards the back stick, worked on and cleared away off the line by Casemiro. As a header at the back post, which is cleared away by the Manchester United centre back. Newcastle go again though, out on the left hand side. This is Elliot Anderson up against Amrabat, who's chasing him. Gets the better of him, does Anderson, towards the byline, edge of the penalty area, left hand side. Looks to hook it towards the near post where Anthony Gordon was lurking, but it's going to be a comfortable take for Andre Onana. Ball goes in, and it was Dan Burn who was lurking at the back post, and literally only a couple of inches away from completely crossing the line. Casemiro getting there in the nick of time for Manchester United to head it away off the goal line. And at the other end, it's going to be a free kick to Manchester United. It's Elliot Anderson who gave away the foul, and it's going to be the first recipient of a yellow card in this match as he lunges in from behind on Scott McTominay, who goes down to the deck. And that's the first yellow card of this encounter. Not been that type of game. Free kick to Manchester United around about 35 yards out from goal. It's going to be swung in from the right hand side on the right boot of Bruno Fernandes. Newcastle keep their wall high towards the edge of the D. 37.5 gone. United lead by 1-0. Fernandes plays it short to the path for Amad Diallo. Fernandes makes the overlapping one on the right hand side. Just hesitated for a second to Diallo before linking the ball through to Fernandes, which gave Anthony Gordon the time to slide the ball away and out for a Manchester United throw-in on that right hand flank. Just having a look on our monitor, another look at the penalty incident, and Newcastle may feel entitled to be annoyed with that decision as we have a look at a picture of Anthony Gordon's sock being cut up by the stud of Sofian Amrabat. Ball fired back into the area by Manchester United, but it's going to be an uncomfortable take by Martin Dubravka between the sticks. Plays it short and out into the path of Dan Burn. Newcastle looking to build out from the back. And looking around for options, but options that aren't quite there. Played short into the path of Emil Kraft. This is Kieran Trippier, right hand side, 10 yards from the edge of the Manchester United half. This is Burn launching it forward out towards the left hand side, 15 yards on the United edge, flicked away by Wan-Bissaka. Casemiro also gets a flick on, but it's recovered by Burn on the halfway. Kraft out to Kieran Trippier on the right hand flank. Jacob Murphy 10 yards inside opposition territory, looking to thread it forward on that right side towards Bruno Guimaraes. Ball trickled out of play. Casemiro finds himself down for Manchester United, so it's going to be another stoppage in play to abate for an injury. 6 minutes to go with this first half at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Newcastle 0. Casemiro going down on an aerial duel of his own teammate Scott McTominay, tried to get out of the way, but Casemiro jumping for the ball, and there was nothing that Scott could do about it, who's just getting some treatment by a couple of the Manchester United doctors. Gives us an opportunity just to tell you what's coming up then across Flash Score over the course of next weekend or so. As promised, we'll have every single game from the final day of the Premier League season, including Manchester City against West Ham, Arsenal against Everton, the big games involving the title race. Still not all completely sealed at the bottom of the table, although it would take Luton to win big at home against Fulham and Nottingham Forest to lose heavy away to Burnley for Nottingham Forest to enjoy relegation down to the Championship. The race for the Champions League has been completed, and our congratulations go to Aston Villa for their first season in the European Cup since 1983. Tottenham will be condemned to the Europa League next term. But in terms of the race for Europe, we'll be at the Amex on Sunday afternoon for Brighton against Manchester United, Brentford against Newcastle at the G-Tech Community Stadium, whilst Chelsea host Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge on the final day of the season. We also have the 3 European finals for you. Europa League final this time next week between Atalanta and Bayer Leverkusen. We then have the Conference League final in Athens between Olympiacos and Fiorentina. And then the 1st of June, it's going to be Wembley, the centre of attention for the Champions League final. Jacob Murphy, play restarts, right hand side, up against Diogo Dalot. Sees the ball out of play for a Newcastle United corner on the right hand side. Who's been kept busy in this first half by Manchester United. Kieran Trippier is going to take this corner for Newcastle on the right hand side, right booted, 3 apiece in the corner count so far in this first half. It's going to be Trippier to take, swung in right footed towards the penalty spot, headed away by Fernandes. Going to come back out towards Murphy, and towards the possession Lewis Hall, 25 yards out. May think about having an ever here towards the edge of the D. Plays it back into the path of Gordon, chips it out to the right hand side. Trippier, first time ball into the box, and his right foot cleared away at the near post by Amrabat for another Newcastle United corner. Amrabat, who gets high fives from each of his defensive colleagues, again to be taken on the right hand side. So he's swung in on the right foot of Kieran Trippier towards the back post. It nearly fell for Bruno Guimaraes, who just couldn't quite get his footing to it, but will win the ball back loosely, back towards Anthony Gordon 30 yards out, swings the ball into the box. It's going to be one back by Trippier, who hooks it in towards the back stick and then headed out of play by Casemiro. Safety first, and again he gets high fives from his Manchester United defensive colleagues. It's going to be another Newcastle United corner, their 5th this first half, and the 4th to be taken on this right flank. 2.5 minutes to go until the break. Trippier's corner, right side, swung in right footed towards Bruno Guimaraes, who has a diving header from in and around the penalty spot, which goes around about 2-3 yards wide of the right hand post. A golden opportunity. Guimaraes was left completely detached, nobody keeping tabs on him whatsoever. Diallo, the only man who could have probably tracked back to have kept tabs with him, and Guimaraes with a bullet header, diving bullet header. We're in and around the penalty spot. You would have expected to have hit the target from there. He went about 3 yards wide of goal. Now it's a golden opportunity for Eddie Howe side to level up. 2 minutes out from the break. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Newcastle clear the ball away, but it's one back by United. It was flicked on by McTominay, looking to find Garnacho inside the box, but the flag goes up for offside against the Argentinian. A reminder that we will have the Champions League final for you from Wembley Stadium. It's our showpiece match of the season on the Flash Score Live audio commentary services. Borussia Dortmund up against Real Madrid on Saturday the 1st of June, an 8 o'clock kickoff in that one, and you can keep up to date with all the latest news and articles and opinion pieces in the build-up and post-match analysis and reaction from that game by downloading the Flash Score app, which is available on the Apple App Store or via Google Play. It's wherever you get your apps from. As we approach the final minute or so of the first half here at Old Trafford, United with a slender 1-goal lead courtesy of Amad Diallo's goal on the half-hour mark. Ball goes out to the halfway line. Newcastle in possession on the left side. Lewis Hall sprays out to the right flank and towards Kieran Trippier by the right-hand corner flag. Up against Diogo Dallo, who is back in the path of Guimaraes. Back to goal up against McTominay. Guimaraes. So Trippier out to the left-hand side, exactly who he finds. Now Guimaraes again. Emil Kraft in behind, but manages to find Dan Burn in the middle. Goes out towards Lewis Hall. Eddie Anderson on the left flank, far left-hand side, up against Wan-Bissaka, 25 yards out from the Manchester United goal. Goes back towards Hall, and now Anthony Gordon drives down that side to the edge of the area, pass and we're back towards the byline, looking to hook it back in towards the path of Longstaff, who made the one to the penalty spot, but the last touch comes off Aaron Wan-Bissaka out for another Newcastle United corner, who have ended the half strongly, and they're going to have a corner kick out on the left-hand side. In terms of possession in the last 10 minutes, Newcastle with 73% of it compared to the 27% of Manchester United. Trippier to take the corner on the left-hand side. He's going to swing it in on his right foot in towards the back stick. Yeah, Byrne does well to keep it in play. Given a bit of a tug by Evans, cleared away by Mainu for a throw into Newcastle United as we enter the first of 3 minutes added on and the end of the first half here at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading Newcastle by Kobbie Mainoo's 31st minute goal to 0 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Jacob Murphy, edge of the box, right hand side, looks to hook it in towards the mixer, cleared away by McTominay, comes out towards Fernandes, driving down the middle, 10 yards on the edge of the Newcastle United half, plays out in towards the path of Amad Diallo, who's got space to run in here on the right hand side to the edge of the box. McTominay makes an overlapping run, acute angle, he has an effort on the right hand side on his right boot. The last touch coming off of Dan Burn of Newcastle United, and it's going to be a Manchester United corner on the right hand side as we approach the final couple of minutes of this first half. It was Fernandes who launched the ball out towards Diallo, who was in plenty of space. McTominay makes the run, then had a shot from an acute angle which came off of Dan Burn and out for Manchester United corner, which is going to be taken by Bruno Fernandes on the right hand side. He's going to swing this in short on his right boot. This is Diallo. Back towards Fernandes again. Being put under pressure by Gordon, who nearly came away with it, but Fernandes back to Diallo, who's being put under pressure. Diallo short to Mainu. Diallo inside the penalty area. Beautiful football by Manchester United. Diallo just couldn't quite get the shot away, and Newcastle come away with the ball. And it's Bruno Fernandes who's being kept tight by two. He does try and keep it alive for Newcastle. It's going to go for a Manchester United throw. Diallo short to Mainu. First time pass into Diallo's path. He juggles his way past two Newcastle United defenders and then Eventually it's Jacob Murphy on the goal line who gets a turning touch on his right foot to see the ball away. Manchester United took the throw in quickly. It was snuffed out by Newcastle, but United regather possession and then fire it straight back to Andre Onana between the sticks. Final minute of stoppage time at the end of the first half here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0. The score here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary. United get the ball away on the halfway. Murphy on the right hand side, forward in towards the possession of Longstaff. This is Guimaraes towards the edge of the penalty area, up against 2. Amrabat comes away with it, regathered by Longstaff. Amrabat puts his arm up in the air as the ball went out of play, saying that the phone should be in Manchester United's direction, and high fives go around everywhere as the decision is given as of so. So final 20 seconds or so of this opening period here at Old Trafford. United leading Newcastle by a goal to nil. Reminder, you can listen to the end of the game at the Amex between Chelsea and Brighton. Second half of that one about to get underway. You can listen to that during the half-time interval here on Flash Score, but it's going to be thrown by Johnny Evans to see out this first half. It's going to trickle out of play, and the referee's going to blow for half-time, where Manchester United find themselves in front. It is Kobbie Mainoo, the 19-year-old, that has given Manchester United the lead. His strike in the 31st minute, the difference between the two sides, his third goal of the season. And Manchester United, who sunk to a new low at the weekend, well, they find themselves in front at the break. Kobbie Mainoo's goal, the difference between the two sides. It's Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 0 at the break. for the second period. They're attacking the left to right of us in this first half. Erik Ten Hag coming out late for the second period and gives a round of applause to the fans. And the first kick-off by Bruno Fernandes was a false dawn, a false start. So get back underway once again. United leading courtesy of that Kobbie Mainoo goal in the 31st minute to 0. Newcastle had a very strong end to the first half, but they couldn't take advantage of the opportunities that they had right before the end of the opening period, as Amad Diallo has possession on the right hand side. Short to Fernandes, back towards Diallo again, one back by Bruno Guimaraes. Got Gordon forward, goes out towards Isak, edge of the area, inside the box, right hand side, plays it back towards Bruno Guimaraes, who has an effort on the right foot for the side of it, just inside the penalty area, but it's a comfortable take for Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. It was Guimaraes who started it, laid it out towards the right hand side and towards Isak, who played it back into the middle, in towards the path of Bruno Guimaraes, who had a first time effort to the side of his right boot, curling effort. Gets a touch of Amrabat straight into the path for Onana. At the other end, here's United with Fernandes, threaded through in towards the penalty area. Kobbie Mainoo had two defenders up against him. Dan Burn manages to get a touch to it for Newcastle United. We'll give you the two starting 11s in just a second. This is Wan-Bissaka on the right hand side for Manchester United. Bruno Fernandes moving in field. And he's out in towards the path of Diogo Diallo. Now in towards the path of Alejandro Garnacho, who plays it back into the possession of Johnny Evans. Casemiro on the halfway for Manchester United. The United team as follows: Onana, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Evans, Diallo, Mainu, Amrabat, Diallo, McTominay, Garnacho and Fernandes, as they launch the ball out directly to the left hand side, looking to find Garnacho. Newcastle clear it away on as far as Amrabat, 10 yards inside opposition territory. Goes out into the path of Diallo. Amrabat once again being kept on close quarters by Bruno Guimaraes, recovered by Jacob Murphy. This is the Newcastle team. Dubravka in goal, Trippier, Kraft, Byrne, Hall, Longstaff, Guimaraes, Anderson, Murphy, Isak and Gordon. Now that's given away cheaply by Manchester United by Bruno Fernandes. This is Isak back to goal, 25 yards out. Later the path of Gordon. Inside the penalty area. Gordon has a low drilled effort, which is blocked. Comes back out second time in towards the path of Elliot Anderson, whose effort is blazed wide of the mark. It was Casemiro again who was caught amidst the crossfire for Manchester United. Isak playing the ball out straight away towards Gordon inside the penalty area. Blocks the first effort before Anderson has a second shot on his right foot for the side of his boot, which is blasted way wide of goal. 3 minutes of this second half gone. Manchester United leading Newcastle by a goal to nil. This isn't the only Premier League game this evening which you can listen to on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. It's Brighton 0, Chelsea 1 elsewhere. Murphy edge of the area, right hand side to the back post. Anthony Gordon stabbed home from close range. Kane sliding in to find a Newcastle United equaliser. 3 minutes on from the half-time break. Newcastle United are back on terms, and it is Anthony Gordon with the goal. Him and Jacob Murphy with a pre-prepared celebration, which they probably would have trained on the training field, when it was a cheap giveaway of possession for Manchester United, who saw the ball flung into the path of Anthony Gordon. It was Onana who gave it away straight away as he knocked it forward. It was recovered by Alexander Isak, who plays it out in towards the path of Jacob Murphy to the edge of the penalty area. Casemiro plays Gordon onside, who came sliding in before poking the ball home on his right boot from in and around 10 yards out to level up for Newcastle United. It's the perfect start to the second half for Eddie Howe's sides. They find themselves on level terms. 1-1. Anthony Gordon with the goal. He is 11th in the Premier League this season. He's also got 10 assists to his name in his 36 appearances this term. And he's looking to create some more traffic again. This is Lewis Hall on the left-hand side for Newcastle. Everything that Ten Hag said in that half-time team talk has basically gone out the window now. He's back onto the halfway. Newcastle with it on the right-hand side. Play forward in the path of Jacob Murphy. Big 1-2 by him and Emil Krab, but Murphy will moves out and then go back towards Onana between the sticks of Manchester United. Moves it forward, given away, one back by Bruno Guimaraes. Mainu keeping close company to him towards Isak, edge of the penalty area. Goes back out to Jacob Murphy once more. Guimaraes moving infield towards the centre and threading through to the path of Longstaff, who's waiting towards the edge of the penalty area. Cleared away by Evans, lost out by Mainu. This is Murphy looking to thread it in towards Isak in the area. Once again, Johnny Evans manages to recover. The ball now loose up in the air, but brought down by Kieran Trippier on the right-hand side in the middle of the United half. This is Elliot Anderson to the edge of the D in the centre. Going to play it out towards Anthony Gordon, but the pressure applied by Sofian Amrabat doing enough, and United managed to get the ball away, and now they drive down the right-hand side. Diallo towards McTominay, shifting it out to the left-hand flank towards Garnacho, who's in on goal here, but it's cleared away. Dubravka came sliding in, and Emil Kraft just made sure, knocking the ball out of play for a corner. McTominay with a beautiful ball into the path of Garnacho, heavy first touch. Emil Kraft just makes sure. Dubravka came sliding out, but didn't want to take any chances. It's a Manchester United corner on the left-hand side as they attack him this second half. It's going to be Bruno Fernandes to take, who's going to swing it in on his right boot. 51 minutes gone. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 1. The score here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. A bit of a grappling inside the area. Play short towards Garnacho, the corner by Fernandes, then has an effort on his right boot to the near post, parried away by Dubravka, comes back out towards Amrabat. Wan-Bissaka in the middle of the Newcastle half loses out. Jacob Murphy forward into the path for Gordon. He's one-on-one with Amrabat. He's got Isak in support. Alexander Isak in on goal. Just a goalkeeper to beat. Has an effort which comes off of Amrabat, who came chasing back and then off the crossbar and out of play. A golden opportunity for Newcastle United, but superb defending by Sofyan Amrabat, who looked all but beaten to stop Newcastle from hitting the front. There's one back by Murphy, driven forward by Gordon. Isak busts a gut to get himself forward into the penalty area, takes a touch on his right foot for then having an effort with his left. But Amrabat comes charging back for Manchester United. It comes off his right shin, off the crossbar, out of play for a corner as Amrabat flung to the ground. He flung to the ground with an air of relief. 52.5 minutes gone. Now a Newcastle corner to be taken on the left-hand side. It's going to be swung in this time by, looks like Anthony Gordon's going to have a go at it on this occasion. He's going to swing it in himself on his right foot. It's Gordon's corner, left hand side, right footed to the back stick, flicked on by Dan Burn. It's going to be cleared away by Kobbie Mainoo to United's left side. Burn with a challenge, see the ball go out of play for Manchester United throw as the referee Rob Jones just pulls play back here, just signalling to his earpiece, and he's just having a look here for a potential handball against Amad Diallo as the ball's flicked on by Dan Burn. It just comes off of the right chest towards the right arm of Amad Diallo, and they're just having a little look here. VAR. Well, it's one that we didn't quite see in real time, and it's one that's not going to be given either. That's the second penalty appeal the Newcastle had turned away by VAR this evening. They had one in the first half against Anthony Gordon, controversially waved away. This is Anderson, who goes down under the challenge of Diallo. He's going to win Newcastle a free kick, left hand side. Jason towards the edge of the penalty area. Gordon also sees himself down on the deck for the Magpies, as Marcus Rashford walked up on the Manchester United bench. Been out for a few weeks now, here's Rashford. 7 goals in 31 appearances so far this season for him. Well, Bruno Fernandes had a late fitness check and he came through on his. Marcus Rashford was fit enough for the bench but wasn't able to get straight into the starting 11, and Anthony Gordon down on the deck under the watchful eye of the England assistant manager Steve Hojlund, too. Himself and Gareth Southgate have got some big calls to make in the next couple of weeks as to who they pick for their European Championship squads, and you'd expect the way that he's played this season Anthony Gordon to be chief among the names that are going to be in the picture for Gareth Southgate's 26-man squad for the European Championships in Germany in the summer. As Eddie Howe and Jason Tindall have a chat about the way the second half's gone. It's been a positive start for Newcastle United. 10 minutes gone in it, 55 on the clock. Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 1. Newcastle a free kick. Going to be taken by Anthony Gordon on the left-hand side. He's going to swing it in on his right foot. Diallo, the one man in the United wall. Swung in towards the back post. Held on by Onana with both Kraft and Una Guimaraes lurking at the back post for Newcastle United. He cycles it out towards the left-hand side and in towards the path for Diallo. Amrabat in the middle, 5 yards on the edge of the Newcastle United half. He's got Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side making an overlapping run. Plays it short in towards Diallo's path again, out towards Kobbie Mainoo, who has got Emil Kraft up against him. Swung in towards the penalty area, flicked away for finding Fernandes. He's going to fall for Garnacho, edge of the area, goes out towards Fernandes, who looks to get the cross in. Last touch comes off of Kieran Trippier, and out of play for Manchester United, throw out on the left-hand side. And now they look to respond to the Newcastle United equaliser found early on in the second half. Trippier's had a quiet second half so far, but now has some defensive work to do. Anthony Gordon gingerly limping back in towards his own penalty area to defend the set piece. Just swung in by Fernandes, right foot on the left hand side, flicked away on his far as Diallo, who hammers it home into the roof of the net. He was left detached from the second ball, and he finds Manchester United's second goal. Ahmed Diallo, another one of United's breakout young stars, fires the Red Devils back in front. 12 minutes of this second half gone, 57 on the clock. It's Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1, and it's Ahmed Diallo who thunders it home. It's his first Premier League goal, and it's a goal he is going to remember forever and a day. It was Fernandes' corner on the left side, swung in right-footed, half cleared of the near post by Jacob Murphy, but then Ahmed Diallo was left completely unmarked inside the area. It was actually Anthony Gordon who couldn't track back quick enough to him. And then first time on the volley, through the laces of his left foot, thunders it home into the bottom left-hand corner to restore Manchester United's lead. And here's a smile finally on the face of Erik Ten Hag. For Ahmed Diallo, he punches the sky, he punches the air with delight. It's a breakthrough goal for him, his first Premier League goal for Manchester United. Well, we've got quite the game in our hands now. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. Newcastle had all the better of the second half, but that one opportunity for Manchester United from the set piece, clinically taken, and now this game takes a completely different complexion. And they have the ball once again on the right hand side in the middle of the Newcastle half. Diallo to Wan-Bissaka, now back to Amrabat on the halfway, who plays it short in towards the path for Casemiro, lofted over the top, couldn't quite find in towards Diallo in an offside position, then covers to track back, but Newcastle will come away with the ball on the left hand side. It's Lewis Hall in possession up against Kobbie Mainoo, who sees it out for Newcastle throw. Ahmed finds himself down on the deck on this near touchline, following the challenge by Elliot Anderson in behind a couple of moments ago. Just stuck his white boots out, just catches the back of Ahmed Diallo's leg with his studs, completely unintentional. So as things stand, it would mean that both United and Newcastle would be level on 57 points. Newcastle will be ahead of United because of their superior goal difference. But it's Chelsea who have full command. They're on 60 points in 6th place, and they currently find themselves 2 goals to the good against Brighton and Hove Albion. Just over 20 minutes to go in that game at the Amex Stadium. The second goal scored by Nkunku. Malo Gusto feeding the ball through to Christopher Nkunku, who picked up the pass inside the box and quickly sent it into the bottom left-hand corner. Goalkeeper left helpless, and it's Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Chelsea 2 at the Amex Stadium on the Flash Score live audio commentary service. You can listen to that game elsewhere. Meanwhile, hour gone here. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. Newcastle ready a couple of changes. They give the ball away loosely. McTominay to Fernandes, out to the left hand side. Alejandro, edge of the penalty area, moves in field. Now just out to the left hand side, looking at slamming his way past 2. Goes back into the path for Diallo, who moves in field. Has an effort from the edge of the penalty area, pounded away by Dubravka on his right boot. It was a curling effort. It's one back by Manchester United. Newcastle can't fully clear their lines. Mainoo looks to chip it in the air, looking to find Fernandes. It's going to be cleared by Guimaraes, who's being put under pressure, and it's Dan Burn who's going to have to clear it away from the edge of his own 6-yard box. But it's recovered by Casemiro. Newcastle bring it down. Gordon forward towards Isak, who just couldn't quite get his footing right to set himself free straight away. Casemiro comes in from behind. Newcastle wanted the free kick, and Newcastle get the free kick. Most of the frustration to animated Casemiro, who questions the call of the referee. And he's now being called to come forward by Rob Jones. Just quickly elsewhere, looks like Celtic now going to wrap up the Scottish Premiership title. They lead at Rugby Park against Kilmarnock by 5-0. 2 minutes to go in that game. They needed to get something tonight to secure the Scottish Premiership title, and it looks like they're going to get that win at Rugby Park by a convincing scoreline. Meanwhile, in the other game in the Championship group, St Mirren, who have secured a Conference League football, 2-2 against Hearts. 13 minutes to go there as Casemiro steps over the line. Once too many for Rob Jones's liking, and he finds himself in his notebook as Billy Howe makes a trio of changes, which is going to see Elliot Anderson depart for Joe Linton. Jacob Murphy will depart for Mickey Almiron. And then the final change is going to see Fabian Schär come on in place of Kieran Trippier, whose race as far as this game is concerned now is well and truly run. So Newcastle making 3 changes in the 62nd minute of this encounter. They take the free kick, whipped in by Gordon towards the back post. It's flicked on, only half cleared by Wan-Bissaka, scooped away in the end by Bruno Fernandes, who launches it clear. Was looking to unleash Diallo, flicked away by Dubravka. It's not the best clearance in the world, and he needed his defensive colleague Lewis Hall to get him out of a pickle and get him out of a hole there. But United are going to have throwing 5 yards inside Newcastle United territory. Newcastle come away with it on the right hand side. They now move deep in towards Manchester United territory. Goes back into the path of Giveaway, just being put under pressure by Scott McTominay. In towards the possession of Emil Kraft. Jit over the top, in towards the penalty, looking to find Miguel Almiron, who ran for it on that right hand side, up against Diogo Dalot down that flank, but the ball just ran too heavy for him. Out of play for a goal kick. 63.5 minutes gone here at Old Trafford, and it is Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. Kobbie Mainoo getting the opener for Manchester United on the half-hour mark before Anthony Gordon, 4 minutes after the restart, levelled up for Newcastle. But that equalising goal only saw Newcastle level for the best part of 8 minutes for Amad Diallo on the 57th minute mark, got his first Premier League goal. Forward with a moment to remember, his first Manchester United goal came against Liverpool in that FA Cup tie at Anfield at the end of extra time in the middle of March. This is Garnacho running at Kraft on the left hand side, edge of the penalty area. Now has Miguel Almiron to contend with, and we're back out in towards the path of Ahmad. Now back to Casemiro, chipped over the top into the path of Fernandes inside the penalty area, pulls it back from the byline on the right hand side. Last touch coming off of Dan Burn, he sees it out of play, and Bruno Fernandes sliding down that awkward run behind the back of the goals here at Old Trafford, and then straight into the brick wall and the advertising hoardings. He's back up on his feet, thankfully. And Dan Burn having a bit of a cascading slide down there, but his next job and his next duty is to take the Manchester United corner on the right hand side. 25 minutes to go. They lead Newcastle United by 2-1 here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Fernandes' corner, right hand side, going to be swung in right footed in towards the near post where it's flicked on, but cleared away by Newcastle. Out as far as Ahmad. It's going to fall for Fernandes in the end. Miguel Almiron couldn't quite get there. Fernandes brings it inside, edge of the box, has an effort on his left foot, which is curled towards the top left hand corner, but just wide of goal it went. It was given away cheaply by Miguel Almiron, and then Fernandes moved on the inside from the right flank before unleashing an effort on his left foot, which hit the top of the framework, but just couldn't quite find a way on target. United looking to push for that third, which you'd sense from here on in would at least be indicative of them picking something up from this game. 3 points you sense, though, the way the Premier League table is all that would really suffice. I mean, they'd be level on 57 points with Newcastle, but with a 24 worse off goal difference. But Newcastle find themselves in here. It's an effort by Longstaff inside the penalty area, right-footed, saved by Onana. It's cleared away by Manchester United, but regathered by Bruno Guimaraes. All down in the middle of the Manchester United half. He's got Bruno Fernandes for company. Guimaraes once more, edge of the penalty area, in towards the box, towards Isak. Isak out wide, in towards the path of Cher. Kraft, Cher. Now this is Isak. He's got two up against him. Cher once more, cross goes in, right-footed towards the back post. Flicked on by Joelinton, and just over the bar. Newcastle United say that Onana got fingertips to it. And if he did, what a save it was. Cross came in, it was Emil Kraft in the end, in towards the path of Joelinton, who had a glass header towards the back post, which is come off the crossbar and out of play. Newcastle just finding a second win with those couple of substitutions. And the last touch did come off of Onana. And it's going to be a corner to Newcastle United. Swung in from the left-hand side to the back post. Flicked on by Longstaff in the end. Ball back in by Gordon. Headed away by Fernandes. Diallo as far as Lewis Hall. Edge of the area. Left-hand side. Not going to play it out, but the ball bundled into the path of Amrabat. And United clear the ball away towards Diallo on the half. Not going to find his feet on the right-hand side before then being bundled down by Anthony Gordon, who's going to get a yellow card for the shove in the back by Rob Jones. The second Newcastle United player to find himself in the book, the other one being Elliot Anderson, who has now departed. Score up now in the book for Newcastle United. It's going to be Manchester United with a free kick, 5 yards inside the Newcastle United half, just off centre towards the right-hand side. It's going to be taken by Bruno Fernandes for United. Chipped in towards the penalty area, towards McTominay, who was lurking on the edge of the D. Comes back out in towards the path of Ahmad. This is Fernandes, goes out towards Ahmad once more. Fernandes, Ahmad, Fernandes, 25 yards out. Cross goes into the back stick where both McTominay and Evans were lurking at the back post. The cross came in by Fernandes on the right hand side, around about 25 yards out from goal. It was as sweet as a nut towards the back stick. And neither McTominay or Evans could get a touch to it. McTominay perhaps could have slid for it, but didn't quite know the way to pass that was going to come in by Fernandes, and so didn't decide to gamble. Amrabat wins the ball on the halfway, but not before Joelinton was fouled a phase before. Newcastle free kick on the left hand side on the halfway. And we send our congratulations to Celtic, Scottish champions, getting the better of Kilmarnock by 5-0 at Rugby Park tonight. That enough to seal the Scottish Premiership title for Brendan Rodgers' side. Him and Rangers are involved in a thrilling title race, but it's going to be the green side of Glasgow. They're going to pick up the Scottish bragging rights in the 2023-2024 season. Who's going to pick up the bragging rights here? Just over 20 minutes to go. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. Kobe Mainoo and Amad Diallo with the goals for United. Gordon over equalizer in the middle. Guimaraes in possession for Newcastle, losing out, but it comes back into the path of Joelinton, who himself loses possession, but he went down to the ground under the challenge of Scott McTominay, and it's going to be a free kick to Newcastle, which is taken quickly by Guimaraes, goes out towards Longstaff, who moves towards the right hand side, best part of 30 yards out from the Manchester United goal. In the possession of Miguel Almiron, goes back in towards the path of Dan Burn. This is Lewis Hall in possession for Newcastle United. This is Anthony Gordon driving past Wan-Bissaka on this left hand side. They give and go with Joelinton, but it's won back by United. But Isak was brought down by Casemiro, who, remember, is on the booking, has committed 1 or 2 fouls since. He's just going to have to walk the tightrope a little bit. Isak down on the ground, free kick to Newcastle United as we approach the final 20 minutes of this game. United leading by 2-1. One other Premier League game taking place this evening, that's at the Amex, where Chelsea lead Brighton by 2-0. Cole Palmer and Christopher Nkunku with the 2 goals for Mauricio Pochettino's side. Well, it's a thrilling race towards the line in the Premier League. We'll have Manchester City against West Ham and Arsenal against Everton on Sunday for you as the race for the title goes to the wire. You can listen to that live here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. Newcastle free kick, left hand side, and about 25 yards out from goal. Gordon works it in from the left flank towards the back post. It's headed back into the mixer by Bruno Guimaraes, but it's going to be held by Andre Onana at the near post for Manchester United. We'll have all 10 Premier League final day games for you, including those two matches that we mentioned at the top of the table. We'll have Manchester United and Newcastle's last day games for you as we look at the statistics for this game. Possession-wise, 54% Newcastle compared to the 46% of Manchester United. Newcastle with 16 attempts to 13, but the important statistic is Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1 as we approach the 73rd minute of this particular contest. As Newcastle have possession, Joe Linton in his own half. Friendly forward looking to find Isak, but it's going to be covered by Johnny Evans. Back into the path of Onana, who launched it for a first time, but one back by Newcastle. Long staff in space, out towards Gordon, inside the penalty area. Gordon sets on the outside of Casemiro, has a go at goal on his left foot, and then sliding in towards the back post was Almiron, who only needed a tap to bundle it home. He couldn't quite get it. It trickles 3 or 4 yards wide of goal, and it was a golden opportunity for Newcastle United. Another cheap giveaway. Casemiro dangling a leg out, but Gordon stays on his feet, runs his way past him, evades the challenge, as an effort with the side of his left boot, which Almiron then came sliding in to try and tap home from, but he couldn't quite do so. It goes wide of the mark, and that was a golden opportunity for Newcastle United to level proceedings. It's only 2.5 minutes gone. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. And the Magpies are knocking on the door, and Eddie Howe comes trudging down from the dugout towards the sideline to give out the instructions, probably instructions of encouragement, but United look to come forth, but Newcastle recover the situation. Joe Linton loses out though to Amrabat. Ahmed going to fire it out towards Alejandro Garnacho on the left hand side towards the edge of the penalty area, cleared away by Newcastle. Casemiro will play it back into the path of Andre Onana. Diallo is back to goal, now turning inside his own half, out towards Amrabat, in towards the possession of Kobbie Mainoo. Crossfield ball out towards McTominay, now to the left hand side in towards Garnacho. 25 yards out from the Newcastle United goal. Edge of the box has got Kraft and Almiron for company. Garnacho plays it back into the path of Mainoo, now towards Amrabat. 25 yards out, Diogo Diallo to Amrabat once again. Falls back about 15-20 yards towards Johnny Evans. Casemiro on the halfway line will play it back into the path of Andre Onana between the sticks. Reminder, we will have that FA Cup final between Manchester City and Manchester United live for you next Saturday here on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service. There's an unforced error there. The ball headed back by Emil Kraft into the path of Martin Dubravka, who couldn't quite steady himself and couldn't quite keep the ball in play as he tried to catch it. It's going to go out for an unforced Manchester United corner on the left hand side as we approach the final quarter of an hour or so here at Old Trafford. United leading by 2-1 and can put the hammer home here. The second goal came from a corner by Bruno Fernandes on the left hand side, and he's going to swing it in from that flank on his right foot again. Again Diallo left attached. Corner goes into the back post, flicked on by Casemiro, half cleared with the back stick by Isak. It's going to fall for Casemiro again in the penalty. He's got 2 Newcastle players up against him. Cleared away by Hall. Only as far as Amrabat, who goes out into the path of Ahmed Diallo. Right hand side, edge of the box. Amrabat making the overlapping one. Mainoo was the option in short, finds him. Back into the path of Ahmed once more. This is Amrabat, goes back in towards the possession of Aaron Wan-Bissaka. 5 yards inside the Newcastle half. Johnny Evans inside his own territory, plays it back to Onana. We enter the final quarter of an hour here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1, the score here in the Premier League on the Flash Score Live audio commentary service, where we'll have all 3 European finals for you. The Europa League final this time next week, Atalanta against Bayer Leverkusen, 8 o'clock for that, and then a week later, Wednesday the 29th of May, Olympiacos against Fiorentina in the Conference League final in Athens, and then the big one from Wembley will be live with you for the Champions League final, Borussia Dortmund against Real Madrid from 8 o'clock. Hall goes out towards Bruno Guimaraes, left hand side, around about 25 yards out from goal. Crossfield ball out to the right hand side, busting the gut is Kraft to get there. who is unsuccessful in that task. The ball will trickle out for a goal kick. And ahead of that Champions League final at Wembley between Borussia Dortmund and Real Madrid, you can keep up to date with all the latest news by downloading the Flash Score app, which you can download by the Apple App Store and Google Play. As Harvey Barnes is to be introduced into proceedings, he's going to replace Sean Longstaff for the 14 minutes or so that remain of this clash here at Old Trafford. Incidentally, Manchester United haven't made a substitution yet. Newcastle have made 4 of their allotted 5, so one more left for them to make in the final quarter of an hour or so. Well, Manchester United haven't really got many choices in terms of subs at this present moment in time, particularly of a defensive type, such are the injuries that they harbour. That's why Erik Ten Hag hasn't rolled the dice, or part of the reason why Erik Ten Hag hasn't rolled the dice as of yet. The Manchester United bench comprised of Altay Bayindi, Alessandro Martinez, Willy Camboala, Christian Eriksen, Amari Forson, Toby Collier, Marcus Rashford, Rasmus Hojlund and Anthony. This is Wan-Bissaka out towards the path from McTominay, right hand side, 5 yards of the Newcastle half. Ball stopped by Damper, goes out for Manchester United throw right in front between the 2 dugouts here at Old Trafford. It's going to be Wan-Bissaka to take the throw in for Manchester United, back into the path of Casemiro, now towards Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. 12.5 minutes to go. United leading Newcastle by 2 goals to 1. This is Diallo, but prior to that there was a foul. It's going to be a yellow card for Fabian Schär for bringing down Bruno Fernandes. He came in from behind, sliding in from behind, taking Fernandes out, and so Jones with no hesitation to put Fabian Schär in the book. But as far as Newcastle subs are concerned, they've got Pope, Dummett, Murphy, Ritchie, Joe White to pick from for their one last roll of the dice in the time that remains here, which is just under 12 minutes at Old Trafford. Manchester United leading Newcastle by 2 goals to 1. Kobbie Mainoo and Amad Diallo United's goals. Andy Gordon found an equalizer in the middle of all that. And the game, pace-wise, has just slowed down a little bit. It's been quite an intense affair. It's been quite a good watch at Old Trafford this evening, but with the intensity of the opening 3 quarters of the game, trimmed with the warm conditions as well. Really warm night in Manchester this evening. That's just leading to a residual drop in tempo for the time that remains. Manchester United win a free kick, handball on the halfway. So Newcastle with a free kick on halfway. It was Kobbie Mainoo who gave away the handball on the halfway. My apologies. Played short in towards the path of Lewis Hall. Goes out in towards the possession of Barnes. Now towards Gordon, left hand side. Had 2 up against him. Gives away a free kick after bringing down Casemiro. Most of the frustration of Eddie Howe, who's had a couple of big calls this evening transpire again. Sunk to a new low at the weekend. Well, they find themselves in front at the break. Kobbie Mainoo's goal, the difference between the 2 sides. Half an appeal for a penalty in the second period as well, but that waved away, and Marcus Rashford and Sergio Martinez are being ready for Ten Hag's side, ready to roll that dice. Tough encouragement by Rasmus Hojlund, who's been dropped for Bruno Fernandes. Seeing the ball awkwardly goes back into the path of Dubravka. Garnacho came sliding in, but Newcastle do eventually come away with the ball on this right hand flank. It's Emil Kraft. Brings Fernandes as we approach the final 10 minutes here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 2, Newcastle United 1. It looks like Rasmus Hojlund is going to complete a trio of substitutions for Erik Ten Hag's side. Ball played through the middle in towards the path of Gordon, goes out in towards the path of Barnes, towards Gordon in the middle. Joelinton almost got there as well, but it's going to be regathered by Amad, who has given away the free kick, kicks the ball away a couple of yards, and that's going to be enough for him to find his way into the notebook. Amad, who has scored his first Premier League goal this evening, now received a caution for his side. As we approach the final 9 minutes here. Newcastle with the free kick, just off centre towards the left-hand side, 10 yards aside the image. James sent off as Ahmad's evening comes to an end. First Premier League goal for the 19-year-old, and he goes off towards a standing ovation to the Stretford end. His evening comes to an end. It's going to be Hojlund that comes on in his place. It's going to be Hojlund, Martinez and Rashford to come on, and it's going to be the other one of the young stars, Kobbie Mainoo, to come off as well, and that's going to bring the introduction of Marcus Rashford to proceedings, and Alejandro Garnacho is going to head off Sandro Martinez. So United going gung-ho in terms of defending their 2-1 lead that they have here against Newcastle United, but they've got work to do at defensive sense here. Barnes has got Gordon on the overlap, steps in field. This is Gordon now, cross goes in on his right foot towards the back post, flicked away by Rashford, comes back into the area by Newcastle, cleared away. It's going to be fired all the way back to Martinez, Dubravka awkwardly in the Newcastle United half. Fired forward again. This is Isak, edge of the area, left hand side. He's got Casemiro up against him. Gordon in turn support. He steps inside the box. Does Isak, cleared away by Sandro Martinez, and United come away with possession. Rashford out in towards the path of Fernandes, left hand side, middle of the Newcastle United half. Fernandes 25 yards out into the path of Hojlund, inside the D, looks to set himself to shoot inside the area, has an effort. Rasmus Hojlund's first contribution is to score, to silence the doubters. He put his finger to his mouth, he cups his ears towards the Newcastle United section of supporters. Rasmus Hojlund, who was dropped this evening, comes straight off the bench, makes an instant impact, and with 6 minutes to go, Manchester United look as if they've gift-wrapped their 3 points. Rasmus Hojlund striking on his right foot in towards the bottom left-hand corner to make it Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 1. Well, it's a moment for Lewis Hall to forget for Newcastle United. It was he who found himself detached from Rasmus Hojlund. It was Fernandes who played the ball through, a nutmeg into Joe Linton, and then Hojlund finds himself in space inside the penalty area and then drags it low, side-footed on his right boot in towards the bottom left-hand corner, past Martin Dubravka in the Newcastle United goal. And Rasmus Hojlund, too, all season long has had to prove the doubters wrong. And that's his 9th Premier League goal of the season. It's one which he enjoyed. It was one that proved the doubters wrong. And within seconds of coming onto the pitch, Rasmus Hojlund has made an instant impact and has given Manchester United a 2-goal lead, a 2-goal cushion. Less than 2 minutes from coming on the field to scoring for Rasmus Hojlund. And Manchester United will move level on points with Newcastle United tonight at the top of the Premier League table as things stand. Newcastle look to make a quick attack forward from the kick-off, but flag went up for offside. So 4.5 minutes to go. Eddie Howe cuts the figure of a frustrated man, the fingernails being bitten. The Newcastle end, which is filled to the rafters this evening. They've been in good support all night, stunned into silence. They're going to have to play the waiting game as far as European football are concerned. They may have to rely on Manchester City to win the FA Cup final in a couple of weeks' time. But can they fire a response here? They move their way forward through the middle of the Manchester United half, win a free kick. Harvey Barnes being brought down by Sofian Amrabat, who is going to be the latest player to receive a booking from Bob Jones this evening. Driving through the middle was Barnes, and then being barged in the left shoulder of Sofian Amrabat down to the ground. Newcastle United with a free kick in the centre, in the middle of the Manchester United half. 3.5 minutes to go. Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 1. Around about 30 yards out, this free kick's going to be taken. Looks like it's going to be Lewis Hall over this set piece for Newcastle United. He's going to swing it in on his left foot. In towards the back post. Flicked on by Joelinton towards the near post, but it's a comfortable gather by Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. Joelinton makes good first contact with the ball. Glance header towards the near post, rising above Diallo, but it's a comfortable take for Andre Onana. United fire the ball forward into the path of Hojlund. Dubravka's out and manages to get the ball. Sees it out of play. He comes sprinting back towards his own goal. Had to get there, otherwise Hojlund was clean through on goal. And it would have been a fourth for Manchester United, you felt. 2.5 minutes of normal time to go. United lead Newcastle by 3-1. It was the Magpies that won the League Cup meeting at this ground early on this season by 3-0, and it will keep up a real, pretty much unblemished record against Newcastle here in the Premier League at Old Trafford. Hojlund looking to put it into the path of Wan-Bissaka, to the fall for him second time. Inside the box, Wan-Bissaka has an effort from an acute angle on his right foot from the right-hand side. Newcastle in the end managed to clear their lines away. Forward in towards the path of Gordon. Out towards Joelinton, who's got options out to the right-hand side. Towards the edge of the penalty area is Miggy Almiron. This is Joelinton, edge of the box, fires an effort through the lace of his right foot, which will blaze 3-4 yards over the bar, much to the delight of the Stretford end behind that goal. As Bruno Fernandes goes down to the ground, a couple of Newcastle United players rather handily on the scene to try and bring him back up, not from a medical sense, probably more to speed the time up. But he'll keep up United's record of only losing once here at Old Trafford against Newcastle in the Premier League. Christian Eriksen's going to come on, and it looks like it's going to be at the expense of Bruno Fernandes for the final minute of normal time that remains here at Old Trafford. And he's going to hand the captain's armband over. Quite see who that went over to, because it just went outside of our camera shot. Fernandes will depart. He's put in a will shift, his first game back since picking up a slight knock, and Christian Eriksen's going to come on for the final minute of normal time plus the stoppage time that will follow here at Old Trafford to see the job through for Manchester United. Fernandes having a chat with one or two of the Manchester United coaching staff. Eriksen looking to win possession back, but it's going to be gathered by Bruno Guimaraes. Goes out in towards the path of Lewis Hall. Left hand side, 5 yards from the edge of the Manchester United half. Crossfield ball out to the right flank. Scooped up, one back by Casemiro. Goes out towards Johnny Evans, edge of his own penalty area on the right hand side. Wan-Bissaka being put under pressure. Joelinton regathering it back for Newcastle. Gordon driving forward in space. Edge of the box will get the cross in. Isak was looking at the near post, but no venom on the cross, and so he managed to half clear towards Guimaraes as we enter the first of 6 minutes added on at the end of the 90 here at Old Trafford. Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 1. Lewis Hall in possession for Newcastle, 25 yards out from goal. It goes out in towards the possession of Miguel Almiron. Chips it up from the right side towards Hall in the middle, 25 yards out towards Barnes, edge of the penalty area. Left hand side gets a better Wan-Bissaka, cross goes in, left foot into the back post. It's going to be picked up by Emil Kraft, who'll put a second cross in. Last touch comes off of Diallo, and it's going to be a Newcastle United corner on the right hand side as they look to get one back in the beginning of second half stoppage time. Anthony Gordon to take the corner on the right hand side. He's going to swing it in on his right foot. Dan Burn has got the Newcastle captain's armband, waving his arm in the air. Maybe he wants in his direction. The big body towards the penalty spot, and that's where the corner kick goes. It nearly was flicked on by Burn. It's going to fall loose towards Hall, edge of the area. He drives an effort in towards the bottom right hand corner from the edge of the D, and it is game very much still on at Old Trafford. 4.5 minutes of second half stoppage time to go. Lewis Hall bundling the ball home, and it's back to Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 2. Corner kick comes in to Dan Burn, half cleared by Casemiro. Hall finds himself in space to the edge of the D, takes a touch, before setting himself on his left foot. Cold effort on the side foot in towards the bottom right hand corner. Past a helpless Andre Onana in the Manchester United goal. And Newcastle United has still got a glimmer of hope. He scored on this ground in the League Cup earlier on this season. He's now scored on this ground in the league. And have Newcastle United got just one more glimmer of hope here at Old Trafford? As he was in possession again, 5 yards from the edge of the Manchester United half. Barnes, left-hand side, 10 yards inside opposition territory, underlaps it towards Hall, who finds himself edge of the box. Cross goes into the back stick, but it's going to be a comfortable take for Onana. Emil Kraft was making the diving run towards the back post for Newcastle as Onana sinks to his knees, sinks to the ground and eats up every single precious second. Well, it felt like for a moment this was a foregone conclusion. It was a result very much in Manchester United's leisure. But they're going to have to work a little bit harder for it now. They're going to have to see off what is going to be a grandstand finish here at Old Trafford against Newcastle United. Wan-Bissaka forward towards Rashford on the right hand side, drives clear, but the full last touch by Lewis Hall sees the ball go out for a throw into United. Wan-Bissaka to take on the right hand side in the middle of the Newcastle half. Amrabat back into the path for Johnny Evans. Casemiro forward towards Eriksson. First time pass out towards Rashford. Ball goes out for United throwing right hand side, 5 yards inside Newcastle United territory. Midway through stoppage time at the end of the second half. 3 of the 6 minutes played. Manchester United 3, Newcastle 2. It means that both teams will still be on 57 points if the result stays this way. Newcastle with goal difference of plus 21. Manchester United with a goals difference of -3. Chelsea take command, 60 points, 37 games played. Spurs on 63. Chelsea could catch Spurs, but nobody else can, as Manchester United win themselves a free kick. Aaron Wan-Bissaka going down under the challenge of Dan Burn. Around about 30 yards out from goal, just off centre towards the right hand side. Eriksson most intently over the ball for Manchester United. Torre was making the overlapping one, bit of a decoy. Rashford towards Wan-Bissaka, edge of the box, right hand side, looking to step in field, but it's one back by Bruno Guimaraes, who looks to set the ball away. Newcastle have it on the right hand side, and Miguel Almiron in possession in the middle of its own half. Played infield in towards the possession of Emil Kraft. Kraft on the halfway. This is Joelinton for Newcastle United. Flicked out towards Lewis Hall, brings it down 5 yards inside the United half on the left hand side. Anthony Gordon now driving with possession, gets on the inside of Wan-Bissaka. Cross goes in by footed, but it's a poor ball in towards the penalty area, which scoops its way out for a Manchester United throw-in on the left hand side, the edge of their own penalty area, which probably tells you everything about the cross into the area by Anthony Gordon, as Newcastle United's manager Eddie Howe stands cross-armed in the away dugout here at Old Trafford. Well, the turmoil at times this season has been in the home dugout, but it looks like Erik Ten Hag is going to get over the line just about in this particular match. They'll head to Brighton on the last day of the season before then facing Manchester City in the FA Cup final. But Isak to Gordon, edge of the penalty area. Newcastle looking to find the equaliser, but McTominay loses out. Isak to the edge of the D, on the back temporarily wins it for Manchester United, but it comes back out to Barnes, left hand side edge of the box, brings it back towards Guimaraes. Now Lewis Hall in possession for Newcastle. Final 20 seconds, final attack here for the Magpies. This is Joelinton now towards the edge of the penalty area. This is Kraft, cross goes in, flicked away by Martinez. Rashford scoops it away for Manchester United towards the halfway. And now they launch the counter. Rasmus Hojlund with Rashford in front of him. Hojlund inside the penalty area, squares it across towards Marcus Rashford, but it's slid away by Lewis Hall for a Manchester United corner. And that should pretty much be that. We're into time beyond added time here at Old Trafford. But Hojlund busting a gut on the left hand side. The ball fell loose to him. Rashford came in support with the run, dinked it down with his first touch, then dribbled forward on his left foot with touches 2 and 3, then played it across in the path of Rashford the back post, which was cut out in the end by Lewis Hall. Eriksson to take the corner, McTominay short. This ain't going anywhere near the penalty area, this corner on the right hand side. So we enter time beyond added time. McTominay happy just to keep it in the corner to see the timeout. Barnton both over, but it falls to Rashford inside the penalty area. Rashford to make it 4 has an effort on his left foot, which takes a block on Moons by Fabian Schär, and out to play it will go for Manchester United throw-in. We're into time beyond added time. The referee has a look at his whistle. Diallo will take this throw on the left hand side, and you sense that this will be the final play of the game. Newcastle did score in stoppage time, so that will add a little bit of time on. Towards the left hand corner flag it goes, and the final whistle goes at Old Trafford. Well, it was raining on Erik Ten Hag's parade on Sunday afternoon. It showered down as Arsenal won by a goal to 0. But tonight they had to hang on and hold their nerve, but they've got the better of Newcastle United by 3 goals to 2 to keep their hopes of European football next season very much alive in a seesaw encounter. It was Kobbie Mainoo who scored the first for Manchester United on the half-hour mark. Newcastle felt they had a penalty, or should have had a penalty, before the end of the first period when Anthony Gordon was brought to ground. He then equalised for the Magpies 4 minutes into the second half, before then Amad Diallo, his first Premier League goal in the 57th minute, made it 2-1 to Manchester United. A fantastic volley in towards the bottom left-hand corner. Rasmus Hojlund added a third, and from that point onwards it looked like it was going to be plain sailing for Manchester United. But Lewis Hall, getting his second goal at Old Trafford this season for Newcastle United, gave us a grandstand finish. But it finished here at Old Trafford. Manchester United still with a chance of European football via the Premier League. It has ended Manchester United 3, Newcastle United 2.